You're appearing on your own behalf.
That's correct, sir, and on behalf of Glew Technologies Proprietary Limited.
Mr. Blundell, appearing for the respondent. No, please, court. Yes. Mr. Glew, you'll be aware that the application, the matter before the court this morning, pursuant to a notice issued by the registrar, the purpose of calling upon you to show cause why the appeal should not be dismissed on grounds that none of the grounds of appeal in the appellant's case have any reasonable prospect of success. Before we turn to that issue, I think it would be helpful, for my purpose at least, if you are able to clarify some of the grounds of appeal, because it's not entirely clear to me what you mean by some of them. We go to ground one.
If you could just bear with me, sir, I'll flip one line up.
Now, in that ground, it's alleged that the Chief Justice sat in criminal contempt of the High Court when he failed to meet the requirements of Chapter 3. Can you just tell me shortly the grounds upon which you say the Chief Justice was in criminal contempt of the High Court? What order or decision of the High Court was he in contempt of?
Lane versus Morrison.
All right, thank you. Now, if I can go then to ground 6. Now, it's not clear to me at least whether in ground 6 what is alleged is that the Chief Justice erred in the decision he reached because he did not have regard to parts of the evidence, or whether it is alleged that the Chief Justice was acting in fraud and bias, and that is illustrated by the fact that he did not have regard to parts of the evidence, or whether you mean something else. Can you clarify what is meant by that ground?
He disregarded the evidence presented at the trial, which is shown in the transcript. In fact, he found against the transcript and against all the evidence contained, and therefore committed fraud on me.
But do you say that the result of what you say was his failure to take account of the evidence meant that he arrived at the wrong decision in the proceedings?
No, he willfully and deliberately found against some of the evidence presented. In fact, in one place, he lied, which is a fraud.
Well, I'm just asking, can you just direct yourself to the question? Do you contend that in failing to take account of the evidence that you say
The understanding that I get from what you just said is what I put in my submission and what I would put in my submission is certain aspects of the evidence said one thing, Mr. Martin said the other happened. That is a dishonest statement, therefore fraud.
But do you allege that it resulted in His Honour coming to the wrong conclusion in the case?
That's
or
correct.
Is it something different to that?
No, you're going to the wrong conclusion.
All right, thank you.
Totally.
In ground 7, you refer to 2 indictable offences which you say were revealed to the Chief Justice.
That's correct.
Can you just explain what those offences were?
Conspiracy to pervert the course of justice and an actual attempt in the court to pervert the course of justice.
Yeah, but what were the acts which were said to constitute those offences?
Well, to explain it, I have to explain what took place on the first day.
No, well, can you just tell me what it is that's said to constitute those offences? What act?
Section 42 and 43 of the Federal Crimes Act. They removed all the allegations made against me,
Who's
Glew, Mr. Blunder.
All right, so the respondent removed allegations from what document or documents?
From the original statement of claim they laid in the court, they removed all the allegations made against me, and after the decision made by Mr. Martin on the first day, applied all those allegations against my company, knowing full well that Mr. Martin had refused to allow me to represent my company or my company to have representation. That is conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, and by debating it in the court, they actually attempted to carry it out. It was debated for 41 minutes. That's fraud.
Who do you say were parties to the conspiracy?
Frank Jasper Proprietary Limited and its directors, Mr. Blundell, Mr. Donaldson, and the other lady that was there, I can't remember her name offhand, and I revealed what took place under Section 48 of the State Criminal Code. I'm bound to reveal the indictable offence, and I did so, and Mr. Martin did nothing, therefore it makes him party to the offence.
So he was a part of the conspiracy?
Yes, because he just said, Mr. Blundell or Mr. Donaldson, you should file those documents in the bin. And he said, that's the end of it. You don't file a document in the bin. It's like getting somebody who broke into a house and say, just chuck all the stuff in the bin and you forget it. That doesn't happen.
Now, ground 8, what constitutional issues you say were raised in the court between the 7th and the 10th of September? You don't need to go into detail, but you need to know what the constitutional issues were.
The court sitting under Supreme Court rules instead of sitting under Chapter 3 of the Constitution, which bars the court making rules or laws or regulations and then applying them.
Right, thank you. Now, we've dealt with what you say was the effect of ground 6, at least in part. And as I understand it now, you say that the Chief Justice didn't take account of key parts of the evidence and as a result reached the wrong conclusion in the case on the merits. Now, what I don't understand at the moment is how, in respect of the other grounds, it is said that they led the Chief Justice into error in the decision he reached in the case. They seem to be matters which don't affect the decision or the matters with which he was concerned in the action itself. They are, it seems to me, peripheral matters insofar as allegations are made in ground 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 and 8. Do you want to explain briefly why you say that they are relevant?
I raised the issue that Wayne Martin swore an oath of allegiance to the state of Western Australia instead of the Crown. The state of Western Australia, in Hansard in 2003, the then Shadow Attorney General ruled or stated in Hansard that the state is an unlawful entity. Now, to sit under the Crown, which this court must sit under the Crown, you would expect a judge or justice or whatever to swear an oath of allegiance to the Crown in accordance with the 3rd schedule of the Federal Constitution, bearing in mind the court must